Life can be hard. We all experience pain and suffering. Sometimes it feels like too much to bear. We might even ask, why does God allow this to happen? It's a question many people have asked throughout history. Suffering is a part of life. It's something we all face at some point. But why does a loving God allow it? Why doesn't He stop bad things from happening? These are difficult questions. But even in our pain, we can find hope. God is with us. He understands our suffering because He has experienced it Himself. And He promises to never leave us or forsake us. To understand suffering, we must first understand that we live in a fallen world. When Adam and Eve disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden, sin entered the world. Sin brought with it suffering, pain, and death. Our world is imperfect. Bad things happen. Natural disasters occur. People make wrong choices that hurt themselves and others. This is the reality of living in a fallen world. But God didn't abandon us. He loves us and wants the best for us. He sent His Son, Jesus, to redeem the world and offer us hope. God allows us to go through trials not to punish us, but to refine us. James chapter 1 verses 2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Suffering can make us stronger. It can help us grow in our faith and become more like Jesus. When we go through difficult times, we learn to rely on God more. We develop patience, perseverance, and compassion. These qualities are not developed in times of ease and comfort. They are forged in the fires of adversity. It is through trials that we discover our true strength and the depth of God's love. Think of a goldsmith refining gold. The gold is put through intense heat to burn away impurities. In the same way, God uses suffering to purify our hearts and make us more like Him. He doesn't enjoy seeing us suffer. But He knows that suffering can be used for good. It can draw us closer to Him and help us become the people He created us to be. Remember that God is with you in your suffering. He understands your pain, and He will use it for your good and His glory. Section 5, Tested by Temptation. It's important to understand that God doesn't cause suffering. James chapter 1 verse 13 says, "When tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does He tempt anyone." Temptation and sin are the sources of much suffering in the world. We often bring hardships upon ourselves and others through our own choices. But even when we make mistakes, God is there to forgive us and help us through. He wants us to choose His path, the path of righteousness and life, but He gives us the freedom to choose. And sometimes we choose poorly, leading to pain and suffering. The ultimate example of good coming from suffering is the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Jesus, the Son of God, lived a perfect life, yet He suffered immensely. He was mocked, beaten, and crucified on a cross. He endured the pain and separation from His Father, so that we could be set free from sin and death. His suffering had a purpose. It wasn't in vain. Through His death, He conquered sin and death, offering us eternal life. But the story doesn't end with Jesus' death. 3 days later, He rose from the grave, conquering death and offering us hope for eternity. His resurrection is a testament to God's power over suffering and death. It's a promise that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. Because Jesus lives, we can face every trial with confidence, knowing that He has overcome the world and its suffering. We may not always understand why we suffer, but we can trust that God has a plan for our lives. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Even when we don't see it, God is working behind the scenes. He's using our pain and suffering to mold us, shape us, and draw us closer to Him. Our job is to trust Him, even when it's hard, to believe that He loves us and wants the best for us, even in the midst of our suffering. Suffering is a part of life, but it doesn't have to define us. We can find strength in our suffering when we turn to God. He's our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. He will never leave us nor forsake us, and He will use our suffering for good, to develop our character, deepen our faith, and make us more like His Son. So, when you face trials, remember that you are not alone. God is with you. He understands your pain, and he will use it for your good and his glory.